California is burning, and the scenes are nothing short of apocalyptic. A disaster has gripped Los Angeles, leaving homes reduced to ash, lives turned upside down, and communities shattered. It began on what should have been an ordinary day. Dry winds swept across the city with a ferocity no one could ignore. By mid-morning, a small fire erupted near a bushy hillside, and in minutes the wind turned it into a raging inferno. Flames tore through some of the most affluent and iconic neighborhoods, forcing thousands to flee. People packed their belongings in desperation, but gridlocked roads trapped many in a nightmare of uncertainty. Cars were abandoned, families separated, and chaos reigned as the fire consumed everything in its path. As the sun set, the battle intensified. Firefighters worked relentlessly, risking their lives as walls of fire advanced with unimaginable speed. Their resources were stretched thin, fire hydrants ran dry, and air support was grounded by hurricane-force winds. Yet, they fought on, trying to save homes, businesses, and lives. By the second day, smoke had blackened the skies, choking the city in an eerie darkness. Entire communities were gone, leaving nothing but scorched earth and shattered dreams. The flames claimed lives, homes, and decades of memories. Families returned to find their houses turned to rubble, their hearts breaking at the sight of what they'd lost. Despite the devastation, hope flickered in the resilience of the people. Neighbors helped neighbors, strangers offered shelter, and firefighters became heroes. Some stood defiant, using buckets and garden hoses to fight back the flames, clinging to the one thing the fire couldn't destroy, their spirit. As new fires ignited, spreading faster than officials could contain, the death toll climbed. Entire blocks disappeared overnight. Evacuation centers filled with tearful faces, stories of heartbreak and glimpses of courage. Emergency responders worked tirelessly, but the scale of destruction was staggering. In the face of so much loss, there was still a promise, a determination to rebuild. A community broken, but not defeated. Together they vowed to restore what had been taken, stronger and united. The scars of this catastrophe will remain, but so will the strength of those who endured it. California is no stranger to fires, but this one will be remembered for generations. As Los Angeles stands amidst the ruins, its people stand taller, ready to face whatever comes next. Because even in the ashes, hope burns brighter. Meanwhile, people were witnessing stories that reflected human courage and determination. A family that had lost all their life savings spoke with hope in their voices, saying, "We will start over. This is our land, our home." Another mother, staying in a shelter with her children, said, "We are safe, and that's the most important thing." In the darkness of the night, the firefighters' helicopters had returned. The winds were subsiding, and finally, a glimmer of hope appeared. Despite immense pressure, local authorities worked tirelessly day and night on rescue efforts, while ordinary community members, with little to give, stood up for others. Amid the flames, moments of bravery emerged that touched everyone's hearts. An elderly man, who had spent his entire life in the same house, kept fighting to save it until the very end. When asked why he was doing this, he tearfully said, "This house is my mother's dream come true. I can't watch it end like this." On the other side, a young boy, his hands burned while saving his cat, said, "This cat is my world. I couldn't leave without it." These stories didn't just narrate the danger of the fires. They showed how far humans could go for their land, loved ones, and memories. By the third day, efforts to control the largest parts of the fire were becoming successful. Aerial images of the affected areas were heart-wrenching. Places once filled with beautiful homes and lush green trees were now reduced to ashes and charred structures. Yet, this landscape, alongside grief, also carried a message of hope, as people from every community vowed to rebuild their dreams. The governor, while assessing the situation, said, "This fire is one of our greatest trials, but it is also testing our resilience. We are strong, and we will reclaim our land." In the final days, as the intensity of the winds decreased, the threat of the fire started to diminish. Relief teams focused on rehabilitating the victims. Help poured in from everywhere, whether financial aid, volunteer work, or just messages filled with hope. This moment became a lesson that nature's power can be merciless, but human spirit always rises above it. Amid the ashes and flames, Los Angeles resolved to rewrite its story. Because that is the city's true strength, where every disaster marks the beginning of a new chapter. As the smoke began to clear and the skies of Los Angeles started to regain their blue hue, the city stood as a testament to resilience. Families who had lost everything gathered at shelters, sharing their stories of survival. Volunteers from near and far worked tirelessly to provide food, water, and emotional support. Even strangers became each other's lifelines, proving that in moments of despair, unity shines brightest. A firefighter, his uniform covered in soot, paused for a moment and said, "I've seen devastation before, but what I see now is people coming together. It's overwhelming in the best way." Another survivor, holding a charred photograph of her family, said, "This picture survived the flames, and so will we. We'll rebuild, not just homes, but our lives and dreams. Everywhere you turned, there was a story of courage, a moment of hope, and a reminder that no matter how fierce the challenge, the human spirit is unbreakable." Schools and community centers became hubs of hope, offering temporary housing and organizing drives for resources. Artists painted murals on surviving walls, dedicating them to the heroes of this tragedy. As Los Angeles began to heal, it also became clear that this tragedy had united not just the city, but people worldwide who had watched these events unfold. Donations, messages of support, and acts of kindness poured in, demonstrating that even in the darkest times, compassion can light the way. This story is more than just about fire and destruction. It's about the strength to stand again, the will to rebuild, and the courage to dream anew. Together, Los Angeles is writing a powerful new chapter, one filled with resilience, hope, and unity. If you believe in the power of hope and human spirit, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Together we can share stories that inspire and uplift. Your support helps us continue to bring important stories to light. Thank you for being a part of this journey.